I'm just finding this out now, but I had no idea. Apparently, Donald Trump is racist. Did you know this? I had no idea. I mean, it's not like it's been said a million times every single day for the past several years. I mean, I'm only just hearing the left call Trump a racist for the first time. We have this one. I don't know who this guy is. Vegas Tenold, is that his name? If you're supporting Trump, you're a racist at this point. I'm not afraid to say it, and no one should be. Oh, I didn't realize that people are only just now calling Trump supporters racist. Wow. It's almost like no one for the past several years was literally saying anybody who supports Trump is a racist, and the MAGA hat is like the new Klan hood. Apparently, today was the day people decided Trump was racist. So here was my response. Unfortunately, they've really overplayed the racism thing. Everything is racist. Nancy Pelosi is racist. Owning a dog is racist. They've even claimed the concept of time is racist. Math is racist. It's the story of the left who cried racist. No one cares anymore. And it's a damn shame. Racism exists. It's a bad thing. And we want to be able to call it out and make a better future for everyone where we can all live equally. Meaning we have the equal opportunity to exist in this world. Some people will have more than others, and nothing we can do about it. Equity is a pipe dream, and it makes no sense because you can't quantify the value of an individual based on their race. So anybody arguing for equity is a racist. But you know what? So what? Saying racist doesn't matter anymore. They've beaten... Let's go through this real quick. I've got a story I want to go through, though. First, Nancy Pelosi is racist. How did that come to be? Well, in this story about the Twitter flame war. Nancy Pelosi told AOC not to tweet. AOC then said she only ever singles out the 4 women of color, as if that was the only reason she calls out Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. But let's talk about dogs being racist. Yes, the story was written that dogs are the tools of gentrification, a tool that white people use to drive people of color from their neighborhoods. And then the concept of time. Boy, do I have a story about this one. When I was in North Dakota, someone told me that keeping a schedule was colonial thinking. Because people of color and Native Americans don't have schedules, which is insane. And I said, what are you talking about? They keep schedules in Asia. Like, everybody has a schedule. You got to wake up and you got to go do work. And he's like, no, it's like when the sun is high, they do things, it's free. And I'm like, listen, man, if you think that other races don't know what time is and don't quantify, like, at what point of the day they have to keep a schedule, you're a racist. But again, what's the point of calling someone a racist? Because everybody's racist and nothing makes sense. And, so here we are now. Trump is a racist again. And we have this op-ed. It's from AZ Central. If you can't condemn Trump's racist tweets, we can no longer be friends. Opinion. As an immigrant, I've heard the go back drumbeat for years. How can conservatives stand idly by when Trump tweets as much? Well, you know what? I can't. I called him out. And you know what? I'm not surprised no one else is anymore. Something really bad happens when you call everyone racist all the time. The word starts losing its meaning. There are regular people in this country who aren't engaged in politics. You call the president a racist. They hear you and they go, ooh, that's worrying. Is the president racist? And then the next day, 10 people call him racist, and then 100, and then 1,000, and every single day, everyone's calling him a racist nonstop for everything he does. And then eventually they were like, hey, honey, what happened in the news today? Nah, someone called Trump a racist. Same old, same old. Am I right? That's right. Just another silly day in the American media. They act like this is the moment. Like this is the thing where they haven't been. It's like they think they haven't been calling him a racist over and over again for the past several years. You think I'm going to care now when you call him a racist? Dude, you called him a racist years ago before he got elected. You claimed he was worse than Hitler. I literally, it's all meaningless at this point. So can we be friends? I don't want to be friends with you. I see. Let's read what this person has to say. President Donald Trump didn't invent bigotry. It's always been there, just beneath the surface where America's collective conscience could pretend it didn't exist. Immigrants like me know it because we've endured the incessant go-back drumbeat from the moment we set foot on American soil. Every generation of immigrants has endured it. But the Africans, the Irish, the Chinese... From the Africans, the Irish, the Chinese, to the Mexicans. How are you going to call Trump racist and then cite Ireland? What, Trump is racist against Ireland? Isn't he Irish? Part Irish? I don't know what his ancestry is, actually. But Trump propelled bigotry into mainstream America. We can't pretend it doesn't exist, as Republicans collectively tried to do on Sunday after the president's attack on 4 non-white congresswomen. With few exceptions, conservatives remained silent. Those who spoke up have little or nothing to lose, politically speaking. Oh man, this is just, I don't even care I don't even know I'm talking about it, to be honest. I don't care. You can call Trump whatever you want because you've called him everything in the book. And we're quite literally at the end of the story of the left who cried racist. I don't care. I'm just completely over it. And of course, you still have people saying Trump isn't racist, whatever. And I'm like, I don't even know anymore. All I know is I'm completely desensitized to it. You can't say it every single day and then expect this story to have an impact. I believe, is this a woman? Yes, Elvia. We've known for years that Trump didn't get to the White House alone. The Republican Party put him there. Republicans, even those who at times appear to be sensible conservatives, put him there. They're our neighbors, our coworkers, our doctors, our bank tellers, and yes, some of them even call themselves our friends. Why were these conservatives collectively silent over Trump's racist rants? I can think of one reason. They're as racist as Trump. Don't care. Literally don't. In a tweet, Trump aimed at Democratic U.S. Reps Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley. And then, you know his tweet. I've covered this story extensively. He says, why don't they go back to the countries who, they say, so interesting to see progressive Democratic congresswomen who originally came from countries whose governments are a complete and total catastrophe. The worst. I think it's funny to point out that the governments in Europe, too, where the white people came from, are also in disarray. And you could probably say the same thing to white people in this country. Why don't you go back to the Netherlands, France, Germany? France is a great example. Why don't you go figure out how to fix that, Macron? Because you got, what are we at, like 40 weeks of protests at this point? I have no idea. Maybe not 40, 30 something. So that was the argument that, like, I think it was Kellyanne Conway was saying, like, not where they were from, but where their ancestry was from. So they go on to say, never mind that 3 of the 4 non-white congresswomen who have been feuding with Pelosi were born in the U.S. Omar was born in Somalia, but is a U.S. citizen. Democrats' rebuke was appropriately swift, but Trump's tirade achieved something else. It distracted from the increased criticism over the conditions of immigrant detention facilities. Oh, hey, wait, hold on. Are they now realizing what I've been saying over and over again? Trump was distracting everybody from ICE. What they don't get is that Trump actually passed policy. That was the gist of my main story, but let's read on. Yes, Trump's attack inflicted pain. It plunged a dagger into an already bleeding heart of a nation of immigrants where people of color aren't welcomed. It plunged a dagger into friendships, acquaintances, neighbors. Can we look into a Trump supporter's eye and not say anything over his or her silence, even if that person is otherwise friendly? It plunged a dagger into efforts of anyone who had held out hopes of finding common ground in this toxic political environment. And then there's this, there's a weird box here. The conservatives who remain silent over Trump's disparaging remarks and his policies against non-whites may think they're getting away with it, but they're fooling themselves. Are they really? I don't think they are, because I'll say this. How many times can you call someone a racist before they finally just stop listening? Okay, the 60 million or whatever million who voted for Trump are not all racist. We can pepper in a few percentage of people who probably are, but for the most part, they're not. So what do you think happens when you scream over and over again, racist, bigot, Nazi, etc.? Eventually they stop listening. And then something really dangerous happens. The president can actually say something overtly racist. I'm not saying he did. I'm saying he can. And people are going to say, I just don't care anymore. That's the story of the boy who cried wolf, quite literally. That when you keep screaming over and over again, eventually people say, enough, I don't want to hear it. And I personally don't. I called out Trump's tweet. I didn't like it. I said it was bad. I said I wouldn't vote for the man. Someone showed me that Trump was doing this strategically. Well, I can criticize Trump for using this rhetoric, be it nationalist or racist, whatever you want to call it. There's arguments for it. There are. It was part of his strategy to distract the media. We can say his tweets were racist because he was targeting women of color and saying, go back to your countries. And that's typically used to point to immigrants. Or we could argue it's nationalist because he's actually saying, go to a different country. And it's not about who their race, it's about the country they came from. From a fact-based, from looking at it, it's actually a nationalistic argument. But I understand why people would call it racist. I would also understand why no one will care. The left. Why would the left even care if you call Trump a racist? You're not telling anyone anything they haven't heard before. Someone on the left being told Trump's a racist, they're going to be like, and someone on the right being told Trump's a racist, they go, oh, this story again, just to say another day in the media, I guess. And there we're left off. The story of the left who cried racist, and nobody cares anymore. So now people, I don't know who this guy is, but he's saying if you support Trump, you're a racist. Yeah, whatever. Like, I certainly don't support Trump and never will. And that was the point I made in my original tweet. But you are not going to change the mind of anybody. Literally, this does nothing. So congratulations. We are now at a point where nobody cares. I got one more story coming up for you in a few minutes. Stick around. I will see you shortly.